This is very smart for Navy Pier. Right here, you can see this. It says there's 1,032 spaces available at Navy Pier when I'm getting off on southbound Lakeshore Drive here. And I'm going to go by Navy Pier. And there's a nice little rendering right here of the area. There you go. You can see it, and let me pull up a little bit more. And so you can see the rendering here. And so it's nice. I don't know where that is exactly, but different parts of Chicago. And so I'm down here and under the pier, and here is some more renderings. I guess some artwork. And these are the artists, and they're putting up their renderings. So maybe this is the artist right here, and here are their paintings. They're nice. Of Chicago, different scenes of Chicago. So, anyways. So, nice paintings. So, anyways, this is North Pier, and this is another mall, and this has lots of shopping, where Navy Pier doesn't have a lot of shopping stores. So Navy Pier and North Pier, they actually work together, but they don't advertise together. But North Pier and Navy Pier should advertise together. And Navy Pier should be promoting going to North Pier, and North Pier should be promoting going to Navy Pier. They are totally different. North Pier has lots of retail shops where you can buy all kinds of different clothing and so on, and do different types of shopping. It has some restaurants, but Navy Pier has all the tours and the bikes, and you can ride the bike around the pier and, around the city, around the waterfront. But it has all the boats, the shoreline tours, has all kinds of dinner cruises and so on. And then it has restaurants and then entertainment, the Shakespeare Theater, and all kinds of entertainment and dining. And North Pier is more shopping. They have lots of clothing stores and lots of other forms of entertainment that they don't have at Navy Pier. And so they actually should be working together, North Pier and Navy Pier. They're both North Pier's on the river, and just up the street is the lock to get into Navy Pier. So a water taxi can move, or you can just walk down the street between the two of them. And then they have Giordano's right here, which I don't know if I'll ever eat there again. But Giordano's Pizza, it's a pan pizza, famous Chicago pan pizza. Had an extremely bad experience with one of their waitresses. Not at that location, at the location in Elgin. But anyways, so, and the big bus stop here, you can get the tour. And so, do you know they can hook up the water tours with the bus tour? Whether you're doing the architectural tour, you can hook up, and they should have a hopper pass where you can go on the big bus and the Spirit of Chicago, the big bus and the Anita D, the big bus and the Shoreline Cruise. And so they can work together because this is a land-based and that's a water-based, and they can work together with the big bus. And so here's Lake Point Towers. And so they do have a dining room that's all the way up top, and maybe they should open it up to the public. Truly. And you can go up to a private dining room, and you get an incredible view from the dining room that's at top of Lake Point Towers. Maybe they should do that. And they can get public traffic, and they have an elevator that just goes from the ground straight up to the rooftop dining. And so they have a beautiful rooftop dining area, and it has a great view of Lake Michigan and everything else. Or they can turn it into an observation deck. Maybe a restaurant and an observation deck above Lake Point Towers. And they can work with Navy Pier and all that and to integrate it. So they could do that, and it would be awesome. And so they should think about that, and it'll bring a lot of revenue into the building so they can do beautifications and everything, and it'd be a view that's not offered anywhere else. And it's unobstructed, and you can look straight across the lake. I mean, the Sears Tower and the John Hancock have great views, and it's high up, and then you see over buildings, but there's no buildings in front of this. You can see right down to the water level. So it has a great place to put an observation deck in Lake Point Towers. Maybe that's how they integrate it in a nice sky restaurant. Truly, restaurant and bar at the top of Lake Point Towers that's open to the public with an observation deck. So the observation deck would be on one side, and then because it doesn't have a good view looking back at the city, only out towards the lake. It's unobstructed. So, and the restaurant can be on the backside, and it has a nice view of other areas. So it has a nice view, but the main view looking over the lake and everything, you can see the Michigan if you have the right, I should say the right telescopes that are up there. You can see right across this lake to Michigan, literally on a clear day. So again, they could put an observation deck up there. And they need to be intertwining North Pier, Navy Pier, and then this project right here. And I don't know what they call this building. It has the AMC 21 theater. And so you have this entertainment complex, and then you have the Lowe's Hotel and the Sheridan Hotel right here. And then on the other side, this is great for people who want to go to Northwestern and that. Here's the medical school is down here, and Northwestern's law school is down here. Here's the Doubletree Hotel. My friend Lance's mother worked for the Doubletree Hotel most of her life. And great lady. His mother was awesome to me. And his father was good to me too, and his sister, Deb. I never really knew his brother, Mike. He has a brother named Mike. Lance, my friend Lance Levy. But again, this is Northwestern, and they have Navy Pier, they have North Pier, they have the 21, they have all this, and it's awesome for recruiting into this area, talking about life and everything. And I don't think my friend Simon that works at Northwestern really spent any time up here. All the years I've been friends with Simon, we never went to Navy Pier once or talked about Navy Pier. He's never been to North Pier. Truly, he's never been out on the Spirit of Chicago. You know, you can do all kinds of church trips on the Spirit of Chicago. Do a cruise adventure with the church, a fellowship event on the Spirit of Chicago or the Anita D. And do it and go out. And you could do it and split up the church between multiple boats. If it's a bigger church like Willow Creek, you could rent out several boats. There's the Spirit of Chicago, the Anita D, and I forget what the others are, but you can rent out multiple boats. And you can do a day at Navy Pier, a fellowship day. So anyways, here's Feinberg Medical School, and it's right here. And then right next to it is Apprentice, the women's hospital. And then right next to that is Children. And then you have the Modern Institute of Art. And so, again, he didn't hang around any of these places. So Simon never really got a feel for any of this. He never stayed around here. He never hung out around here. So how much of the staff of Lurie's hangs out here, goes on Magnificent Mile, goes shopping on Oak Street, hangs out at the Gold Coast? And I know from Joey Bono's, because we were right next door to Children's, or Northwestern, I should say, or is it Children's? Anyways, we're right next door to the hospital, and we got no one. They went into the parking garage and went to work, and then when they left work, they went back to the parking garage, got in the car, and left. And you think the Greater Michigan Avenue Association would be talking to the hospitals and that, and the schools to get people to get involved and, hang out and do activities around here, even if they don't live around here. They can come early to work and go out to breakfast around here. Like there's Tempo and many other things. So, but this is part of engaging the employees and creating fellowship and so on, because they're here, they live in different places. So the one place they can hang out is after work. And they can go out and, the Wit Hotels down here, and there's many other things. So, again, embracing them. And another church right here. And I don't know what this church does with Children's Hospital. Does the youth minister from this church ever go to Children's Hospital? We had no youth ministers ever visit the Children's Hospital. Not a single youth minister ever visited the Children's Hospital. Why wouldn't youth ministers be visiting children's hospitals? Youth ministers, that's their job. Not the pastor, the youth minister's job, to go visit the hospitals. So I don't know what their youth program is like. They got a nice Whole Foods across the street. Whole Foods, Amazon groceries. But here, the Francis Xavier Ward School. And so I had my friend Jay Kim. He had his wedding here and his reception at the Wit Hotel. And this is Holy Name. And so, Holy Name. Jesus' name, Holy. I think my name's Holy. So, it's Holy Oli. You know how they have my nickname in Holy, right? It's H. Oli. O-L-Y is my nickname, Oli. Put an H in front of Oli and you got Holy. Hey. So, I'm holy. But as you see, Holy Name Cathedral, what is it doing with its youth ministry? And we have Children's Hospital right down here. And the youth ministry doesn't reach out. Does they reach out to the service staff? Now we're talking the pastors. They ever come to the Peninsula Hotel and anything? And come around, the pastors reach out to the Peninsula or any of the hotels and talk about coming to, service. Now, there's Sunday services, but they can have midweek services too. And that's for service industry. So service industry or Sin Night is Sunday night. Monday and Tuesday is when service industry, because Sunday night, Monday and Tuesday are the slowest in the service industry. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday are the money days. Then Sunday morning to early evening are the money days. Late night, it gets very slow because people go to work. Most of the other people have to get up on Monday. So it slows down. So Sunday, late night, Monday and Tuesday. So you think they have a service that caters only to the service industry, the hospitality industry. That means people in hotels and restaurants. So this is where I used to work. It was Joey Bono's. We rented it from Gino's East. Gino's East always owned it. And when we pulled out, and there's parking spaces right behind, and when we pulled out of here, it became Gino's East again. And then right next door, they have this thing called Gotham, and this used to be our Joey Bono's to go. Now this is Gotham Bagel. And then I used to know the Chicago Hotel Collection. They can have a deal with Lurie's Children's Hospital. Not all parents need to go to the Ronald McDonald House. They can have a deal with here, and you can stay here. It's right next to the Lurie Children's Hospital and the Chicago Collection. And so, again, you're not staying for long stays. And so, usually, and the child's coming down, has to do a checkup or has some minor things to do. And here's all the stuff that's going on at Lurie's. They put this board up here. As you pass by, you can read things. The #1 pediatric hospital in Illinois. And so this hospital was funded with a $100 million donation from Ann and Robert Lurie. Ann and Robert H. Lurie. And they gave them $100 million, and I think they might have bought the land as well. Actually, they gave them the land and $100 million. That's right. So they bought the land. They own the land. He's a developer. Robert Lurie was a builder in Chicago. And they gave him the land and gave him $100 million. But the deal was that they have to be here at this land and build it here. And that's why we moved out of Lincoln Park and moved down here. And right next door, you will see the Prentice Women's Hospital. And so it says patient department right here. You can't see it, but let me show you the sign. Ann Lurie. See, it says the Women's Hospital right here. So you can't see it there. Okay. So let's just do it over here. So you have the Women's Hospital. Let's see. Right there. And so let me do a zoom. So you have the Women's Hospital. And she's a smart lady. A very smart lady. She told them, I'll give you the land and $100 million. You got to move the hospital. Why? Because I want the children's hospital to be next to the women's hospital. So when they come in to have babies, or when a woman comes in to have checkups, they can drop their child off at Lurie's. I don't know if they're taking advantage of this, Northwestern, but they could be a global leader in women's medicine. But when the woman comes down who has children, she can drop them off at Lurie's, the hospital, when she comes down to get her gynecological appointment, her checkups, her whatever. She can take her children to Lurie's to get their checkups. So the mother drops the children off at Lurie's and then comes in here and gets her stuff done. And then the regular Northwestern Hospital treats men and is more of a general hospital. And so what happens when the man comes down, he can drop the children off at Lurie's. They get their checkups and he can go get his checkup done. And then when he's done, he comes back over. We have a playroom at Lurie's Children's Hospital. So if the kids are done, they can go up to the playroom. There's a huge playroom. There's all kinds of, there's a whole floor, it's recreational. And they can go up there and play and wait for their parents to arrive. Husband and wife can come down. Husband goes over here. Wife goes to the apprentice. When they're done, they can meet at the children's hospital and say the wife's done first. Then she waits for the husband to show up. When he's done, he meets her, and they're up in the playroom, and they pick up the children and they go. But they can go down to, like, there needs to be a Legoland. There's Cole's Children's Museum, but there would be nice if there was a Legoland at Navy Pier. I've never been to Legoland, but I heard Legoland, Lego World is awesome. They have one in Schaumburg, but they should have another down at Navy Pier. It would be incredible. Or Legoland could sponsor something at Lurie's Children's Hospital and build out a little miniature one, you know, a little area that's like a little miniature Legoland in Children's Hospital. If Legoland wants to get involved in children's hospitals, it would only make sense for them to. And they could start with Lurie's. And so, again, and they got a protein bar they put in here. And this is something started in Chicago Corporation. I don't know if you can see it. It's called Protein Bar. I used to go there to eat sometimes. Truly, I like the food. And it's in here. I had nothing to do with it. But I did go and eat when they had the standalone, and it's on Clybourne, and there's another one on Clark, I think it is. I think they have two. And so, anyways, food's decent. I don't remember if it's exceptional. I just know it was good. So, anyways, right here, and then what can you do here? What does this say? An American Dental Association. Oh, they can put dental offices right here. Pediatric dental, adult dental. They can have offices in the building that the dental association's in. It can literally have dental offices in the dental association. So when you go down, you can go and visit the doctor, and you can go and visit the dentist. At Northwestern's hospital, Northwestern has a dental program. They have a dental program, Northwestern University, and they should be working with the American Dental Association, right? And then down here is the American Medical Association. And you think Northwestern would be working with and talking to the American Medical Association, right? The students can intern at the American Medical Association. Truly, when they're going to medical school, they can do all kinds of internships at the American Medical Association. I'll take you by if this video lasts long enough. And the students that go to dental school can do internships at the American Dental Association. And they can do all kinds of outreach, like there's Doctors Without Borders. Well, there can be Operation Smile, which works with the American Dental Association. They can be Dentists Without Borders. Operation Smile is Dentists Without Borders. So they can do internships with them through the American Dental Association, working with Operation Smile. And that's the dental program that I know. And so, again, and I'll take you down here. It used to be the old IBM building. But I'll go up here to Clark and then go left. And I should run it. No, it's on State. Yeah, it's on State. Not on Clark. I'll see if it's on State. It's on, almost positive it's on State, American Mental. I used to hang out with a bunch of people from, my friend Harvey, used to be on my Facebook, was from the American Medical Association. And I used to hang out with him and a bunch of girls. And they were part of the American Medical Association. And so I was trying to work with the American Medical Association. And Harvey used to be a bigwig in the American Medical Association. So again, what is the church, Holy Name, doing right here with its youth ministries? And is it visiting Lori? And is the pastors visiting the hospital? Truly, Northwestern and Prentice. And just there, visiting and saying hi, and just sharing the word, and ask them if they want to be prayed for, or if, is there anything they can comfort them with while they're in the hospital. It's right here. The pastoral staff, the youth minister goes over the Lories, and the adult minister go over to the Prentice and the other hospital and ask the patients, just, giving them comfort and visiting them and saying hi. That's it. Just want to say hi. And if, would you like somebody to come and read for you, or, do something like that? At Lori's, we could have had children's books that for Jesus and that, children's Bible, but we didn't offer the children's Bible, but we could have offered the children's Bible. And so, again, we could have offered the children's Bible. And I don't understand why the youth minister wouldn't go over, and the youth staff wouldn't go over and work at Lori's Children's Hospital. But the whole thing is, you're not proselytizing. So if they're Hindu or Buddhist or Muslim, you're still there to comfort them. And you can play games with them, get to know them. And this is called building out interfaith connections. And where faiths of different faiths see you in a positive light. Christians see Hindu in a positive light. Hindus see Christians in a positive light, and so on. And that builds out, this positive mentality. So here's where the American Medical Association is. And I should be able to zoom in. See the AMA? Here we go. The American Medical Association right here. And so it's in this building. This used to be the IBM building too. And this is Kenzie, I think, right? Yep, Kenzie and State. And it's right here. So people from Feinberg Medical School can do internships at the American Medical Association. So I have to turn around here. So I'll go up and turn around. But they can do internships at the American Medical Association. Northwestern's Dental School can do internships at the American Dental Association. And so this gets them connected. They do networking. They understand how the association, and eventually they become members when they become a dentist. So it's good for the association. It's good for the American Medical Association, because when they become doctors, they become members. And so they can be junior members if they're in medical school to the American Medical Association, junior members. They're not doctors, junior members. So they can network with doctors. And then in the American Dental Association, they can have junior members, and they can network with dentists, because dentists would like to meet kids that are in dental school and eventually recruit them into their dental practice. So would doctors. They like to meet kids that are in medical school and eventually recruit them into their medical practice. I know they have to go to residency, but still they form this thing, and through residency they can have this ongoing conversation, and then they can recruit them. Or maybe they want to recruit them into their residency program where they went, because they'll be alumni of some residency program. And so they might want to recruit them into that residency program. So again, how are these associations working together, furthering the dental community, furthering the medical community? And in turn, it's right here in Chicago, and it's furthering Chicago. As the American Medical Association, their offices are headquartered right here. Chicago grows. As the American Dental Association offices right here in Chicago, as it grows, Chicago grows. And oh yeah, the American Medical Association can have what? International conferences, national and international conferences at McCormick Place. The American Dental Association can have national and international conferences at McCormick Place. So it can bring tons of business through trade shows. And that fills into Chicago's medical device industry, both for the dental industry and for the medical industry. So, again, for the dental industry and the medical industry. So, again, it feeds into the medical industry and the dental industry. And so, again, I want those industries to go. Maybe I was wrong about trying to help the film industry and got helped Blagojevich pass the film credit. But again, I don't know if the film industry has done me well in Chicago. It seems very irritating to me. So maybe we should get rid of the film industry in Illinois. Focus on everything but that industry. So, and then getting people to be more focused on building out other industries. So, anyways, it doesn't seem like the film industry is cleaning up the city and beautifying the city. Where's the film industry investing in getting rid of the homeless and beautifying the city of Chicago? The whole point of them is to beautify the city and make it better, right? But all I see is that since I've been here, and remember when I was with Jen, all the bums were disappearing. Yeah, I was working with all the homeless programs and they were disappearing on the street. I was getting rid of them myself, picking them up, getting involved in programs, and they were disappearing. Now, what has the movie industry done for Chicago? Nothing. Nothing. So, they should clean up and beautify the city. Their employees have to work in the city, don't they? Yes, they do. And it makes it easier for the recruit for the show and do things in the city when things are more beautiful and they want to be here and want to live here. So, again, where is the film industry doing things that are improving America? And I'm not just talking jobs. I'm talking structurally improving America, making better people, mentoring people properly, and raising better people, not drug addicts and alcoholics and derelicts and perverts and everything else, because that's what they've done. Where are they driving the positivity? Where are they making America greater? Because I haven't seen that from the film industry. Let this annoying person who wants to tailgate me, who should be basically taken in and physically beaten to an inch of his life. But anyways, hey, then they got to go to the hospital. There's work for the doctors. So, again, not because we want to generate it, but they have to be taught the discipline, and they got to go through the pain and the suffering and recovery and everything else. So, I'm for that model. We got too many animals down here. We got to get rid of the animals. This is civilization. That means they're civilized. So we got to get rid of the animals. So what is the film industry helping to make civilization better? How is it mentoring and raising better people? How is it influencing them to be better? Truly, where is the positivity? Because all I can pull up is list and list and list and list of people who have done incredibly horrible things. So, again, where are they benefiting the state? Where are they benefiting the city? So, again, I'm just not seeing it. Here's the Gold Coast. And getting back to it, all those conventions can come in. And that's big business. Way bigger business than the film industry, actually. So, again, maybe we should just get rid of it, because all these bums walking around is pretty freaking annoying. So, again, they were going away before. So, I want them all gone. Be gone. So you say all these years of prosperity. Crazy Mary was one bum, and she was a female here, and she found her family and got her life back together, and no more homeless, no more bum, and her name was Mary. And she found her family. I published the article on Facebook, and her life was rejuvenated and revitalized. And so that was the only homeless person. And she was blessed and gone. So I want the rest gone. Thy will be done on earth as is in heaven. Get rid of them. Meaning solve the problem. No more. Or no more film industry. Somebody's got to stick the screws to them. Because it seems like all these are volunteering for Bum of the Year. Like, I like to thank the Academy for the award for being Chicago's Bum of the Year. We like to thank the Academy, and it seems like that's what's going on. And you need to get rid of them. And if not, then we should get rid of the film industry. One or the other has to go. So if they get rid of them, then the industry stays. And if they don't get rid of them, then the industry goes. There are many more industries, from the agricultural industry to the advertising industry to everything that has nothing to do with bums. So, again, we should be thinking about the improvement of Chicago and the betterment of Chicago. Like Francis Parker, very good school, private school, and I was doing college planning for them, high school planning for them, elementary school planning. That's what I talked to them about. Here's Franklin Fine Arts Center. This is a public. There's Francis Parker on the other side, which is a private. So, again, moving things forward in a positive light. I don't want the Academy giving people awards for the Bum of the Year. A kick in the ass, maybe. Get your life together. Like work with Urban Ministries and Pacific Gardens and get them off the street. They don't need to be in films. Do you see It's a Wonderful Life? I don't remember. Is there any bums? No. But in the horrible time in A Wonderful Life, then you have a bum, right? When he attempts to commit suicide, they show what life is without him, and it turns to alcohol and debauchery and horrible things, and they have bums. But then life with George Bailey, his existence, there is no bums. It is a wonderful life, and the city and the village and everything is thriving and everything is good with him. So, again, is this the horrible thing where George Bailey commits suicide? Is that Chicago? Or is Chicago the George Bailey where it's a wonderful life? So, what Chicago is it? Is it the Chicago of demons and Satans? Or is it the Chicago of angels like Clarence? So, which Chicago is this? The Chicago I want is the angels and the good, wonderful life. Not the one where George commits suicide. So it seems like Chicago wants Michael to commit suicide. So every time I come down, it's filth and terrorizing. It seems like the state of Illinois promotes suicide, promotes evil, right? That's what they've been doing to me. They took my businesses unjustly fired me, unjustly impoverished me, unjustly given me sicknesses and illnesses. So it seems like they've been promoting the destruction of my flesh, the desecration, promoting my movement towards suicide. And if I die, the world dies. So get that straight. So it seems like they want to push this narrative of suicide here. And I've been the anti-suicide guy. So when are they going to get in line with my agenda and kick the fucking shit out of these pieces of garbage? Now, if I was in Singapore, I wouldn't have to say it. They would have the police pick them up and they'd just kick the shit out of them immediately. It's already state sanctioned. So, and they have 32 times safer than Japan. And Japan has incredibly low crime rates, but it can get better. So, it works. It's highly effective ass kicking. And they need to think about applying this to these dirtbags that keep on tailgating me and keep on annoying me. So, why don't you get the message out and we get a national movement to start kicking the shit out of people in Chicago until they get their ass straightened out and do the right thing. Oh, Spike Lee, right? Do the right thing. Where is that movement in Chicago? Do the right thing. Don't annoy Michael. Truly. Now, I moved to this lane. They moved to that lane. I moved to that lane. They moved to that lane. I moved to this lane to avoid. But do they annoy? Yes, they do. And the cop passes up the headlight. My brother John went to jail and got fingered and mud printed for having the headlight out. Oh, that's right. That's how they caught Ted Bundy, by a minor traffic violation. But the city of Chicago, they just let everybody go around. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. And they don't do anything about it. And you pay the police all this money, and they do nothing. Nothing. They do nothing because I've been getting constantly harassed every single day, numerous times a day. And they pay law enforcement all this money to do nothing. So when is it going to end? When are the doctors and the dentists and other people going to stand up and say we're mad as hell, truly, and not going to take it anymore? And if Chicago doesn't change, we're going to send in the military for true this time and start, disciplining people.